Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. So let's jump into the show today. You know, just when you think it can't get any worse for Donald J. Trump, it just keeps getting worse. When you see the type of people that Trump is defending and covering for, it's just absolutely disgraceful. And that's what President Trump is at this point. He's just an absolute disgrace. You figure, he almost had his life taken from him 2 or 3 times. And he pisses his whole presidency away for the Epstein files. The Epstein files, Charlie Kirk's assassination, going to war with Iran. Why did he do all these things? What do these 3 things have in common? What do these 3 things have in common? These actions that are happening, they are all done for Israel. That's the 3 things they have in common. And today, well, this happened yesterday. This CARRIE BOLLER PREJEAN, she was the commissioner on religious liberty. She was a commissioner on this religious liberty board. And she gets into it with these Zionists, and these Zionists, they're upset because she's saying, well, I'm Catholic and, I don't believe in Zionism. And what happens 24 hours later? She loses her job. And the only reason why she would lose her job is because President Trump fired her from that job. See, President Trump at this point, he is beyond compromised. He's owned. He's Benjamin Netanyahu's. I say that Benjamin Netanyahu's the pimp and President Trump is the hoe. And it's only going to continue to get worse because Trump knows he's going to lose the midterms. It's over. It's done. His presidency is absolutely finished at this point. And it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get, it's going to be one domino after the other of just criminal, reckless, corrupt behavior. And that's what we have going on here. And our country cannot sustain this. We cannot sustain this type of behavior where we have a country named Israel that is controlling the United States of America and all of our politicians. And I'm going to jump into this video in a minute with CARRIE BOLLER. CARRIE BOLLER PREJEAN. Some people call her CARRIE BOLLER. Some say CARRIE PREJEAN. Whatever. But I'm going to get into that video. But let me preference it with this first. When I Googled today, I was just messing around on the computer and I Googled conservative podcasters. And the first name that popped up is Ben Shapiro. And then the next 3 or 4 names that pop up are everybody that works for Ben Shapiro. Michael knows. Of course, Candace Owens wasn't in there, right? Only the #1 podcaster in the world. And I would consider Candace pretty conservative. But it's so funny when you look at the list, and I'm going to bring up the list in a minute. The entire list is Zionist. And if you don't think that we're in deep trouble, because they are buying up the media, they are buying up YouTube, they are buying up the information waves. And if you don't go along with this Zionist agenda, they're going to run you over. They're going to get you fired from your job. And we saw that today with CARRIE BOLLER PREJEAN. And you know who I blame all this on? I blame this all on President Trump, because all President Trump had to do was tell these people demanding, the people that wanted her fired, demanding for her to be fired. All President Trump had to do was say, listen, she's entitled to her opinion. This is America. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But of course, Trump didn't do that. Trump is a weak, corrupt, pathetic man at this point. And then it also comes out today in the Epstein files. Look, I didn't care when Bill Clinton was getting BJs from Monica Lewinsky. All I remember was the economy was booming. I know Bill was bought and paid for by Israel also, but the economy was a lot better. I didn't really care that he was getting BJs, and I don't care that President Trump was getting that. That's the least thing that I care about right now in these files. There was some young assistant. I'll bring up her name in a minute. Evidently, Melania doesn't like to give you-know-what. Trump and his buddies were calling her knee pads because she was doing things Melania wasn't into. And it's just like, dude, wow, we are just a complete disaster as a country. Like, what is going on with our country? And that's not even really a big, I honestly put that at like the bottom of the list. I could care less that he's doing that. Like that, you know, if he was keeping all of his campaign promises, I don't even care about that. But when you see the things that are coming out and you see the issues that we have in our country, it's just like, I still don't regret voting for President Trump. I really don't. Because if you don't think Kamala Harris was going to be bought and paid for by Israel, you're fooling yourself. And at least Trump closed down the border, even though he's not deporting the 55 million illegals that we already have here. If Kamala Harris wins, you could have kissed the country goodbye. It would be unrecognizable in her 4 years as the president of the United States. So do I regret voting for Trump? If I'm completely honest with you, I still don't regret voting for Trump because Kamala Harris is just, could you imagine that cackling alcoholic idiot for 4 years on the world stage, screaming into a microphone that we shouldn't say Merry Christmas because her boss, Hussein Obama, was putting illegals, children in cages. Hey, talk to your boss. That started under Obama. But hey, I mean, I know cackling Kamala, she's too drunk to, read anything. She's a complete idiot and a moron. Let's jump into this video with CARRIE BOLLER.
I'm a Catholic, and Catholics do not embrace Zionism, just so you know. So are all Catholics anti-Semites, according to you?
Did you hear the booing? Did you hear the booing in this hearing? She says Catholics don't embrace Zionism, and they're who do you people think you are? Who do you think you are? You think we're the cattle that you own? Put us to work as your slaves while you sit back with your feet up and collect all the money? Send our kids off to fight your wars because you're not men enough to do it yourself? You think that our political system is going to keep going down this road? You don't think the goyim are awakened? You don't think that you've summoned the goy out of their trance, out of their sleep? And you know how you summon them all? You know how you summon them? With the genocide that you committed in Gaza. It pulled the curtains back. It turned the lights on. Like the Bible says, all the evil and the badness will be brought to the light. And if you think we're going to keep electing politicians like Biden and Trump and Kamala, who Israel, it doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat, these Zionists own both sides. But eventually, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And we are going to figure this problem out sooner than later. And all of this nonsense is going to end soon. I promise you. I promise you. And on my first day as president, on my first day, the very first day before I even take a sip of water, I will end dual citizenship immediately. Let's let her finish.
So, just to be clear, is anti-Zionism anti-Semitism?
Yes.
It is under IHRA?
Anti-Zionism is now anti-Semitism. Wait, anti-Zionism now makes you an anti-Semite, excuse me. So if I don't agree with Zionism, I'm an anti-Semite. Makes sense.
Rabbi, sure. You're up next.
You're not sure?
Definition,
so what is the definition?
I would love to speak to that. Undoubtedly, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
Oh, hold on.
And
undoubtedly, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Interesting thought. Well, I'm about as anti-Zionism as it gets. And who's denying you having your own land and own country? We're not doing any of that. We're not denying you your land. That's the excuse you keep hearing. Oh, anybody that denies Israel their own land, what are you talking about? You're using our military to take over the entire. Who's denying you? Nobody's denying you anything. Matter of fact, you get every single thing that you want. You get everything you want. And guess what? It's still not good enough. Are you thankful? No, you're not thankful. You know why? Because in the Epstein files, it's revealed how you really think about us, the Zionists. We are the goyim cattle that you own. We're your slaves. We are useless. We are dumb. We are stupid. We should die for your wars. And you're not thankful. In your eyes, this is owed to you because we are absolutely nothing.
Undoubtedly. And one does not have to support the specific policies of the government of Israel, but to not support the right of Israel to exist, which is what anti-Zionists do.
Oh, yeah. Americans are saying that Israel doesn't have the right to exist. Really? Wow. Talk about dramatics. Who's ever said that? Who said that Israel doesn't have the right to exist? Who's ever said that? No, maybe you shouldn't try to kick all these Palestinians off their land and just, committing a genocide so you can control the whole region. Maybe people have a problem with that. But did anybody say that Israel needs to be wiped off the face of the planet? I haven't heard anybody say that. But this is what you get from these monsters. Nothing that comes out of their mouth is remotely even close to the truth. And the minute that you tell the truth, you get fired from your job, because she got fired from her job today. You get called an anti-Semite. They want to ruin your character. They want to ruin your reputation. The minute you tell them the truth about their behavior, then you're an anti-Semite. And then they always hide behind, you're an anti-Semite. Interesting. So when you just killed 1 million Palestinians and you were shooting children in the head who were reaching for oranges and cereal, do you really think you're in a position to preach to us about anything?
While not taking that same stand to the 28 Muslim countries and 13 Christian countries in this world is a double standard, is hypocrisy, and is absolutely anti-Semitism.
Oh, no, Rabbi. The only hypocrite is you. The only hypocrite is you and Benjamin Netanyahu. You want to preach to the rest of the world about morality as you committed genocide? You want to preach to the rest of the world about that everybody's... Who's the one that's acting like Hitler right now? If there's one person in the world acting like Hitler right now, it's Benjamin Netanyahu. Look at his face. Like they're being forced to clap. Like they probably have like guns to them. Oh, you better clap. You better. He's like looking around the room like, oh, I'm taking notes right now. I'm writing down names. Whoever doesn't clap is getting fired from their job.
I think it's also important that we not make Islamophobic remarks while we're here today. I would appreciate that.
Hold on.
I just want to say...
Did you hear the boos when she's like, we shouldn't make anti-Muslim remarks or anti-Islam remarks, and they're booing. Right? But you're the racist. You are the racist. If you don't give Israel and the Zionists every single thing they want, you are the racist. None of their actions, none of their deeds, none of their words are racist. Only you can be racist. Only the Goyim are racist.
Is a religious liberty hearing.
God forbid was anything like that said. But if the Jewish people are the only...
He looks like a real honest person, doesn't he?
People that you deny the right to have its own state, that is absolutely a double standard, hypocrisy, and anti-Semitism.
Well, as you know, I'm a Catholic, and Catholics do not embrace Zionism, just so you know. So are all Catholics anti-Semites, according to you?
As I said, anti-Zionism, by denying the right of the Jews to have their own state while not saying the same for any other peoples, that is a double standard hypocrisy.
Rabbi, I have never heard anybody say ever that Israel doesn't deserve to have their own land, their state, or country. See, you're taking that lame ass excuse and you're like, oh, well, if you don't think that we should be able to take over the entire Middle East with the American military and kill 1 million Palestinians, you're an anti-Semite. That's what you're changing this into.
And anti-Semitism.
On what the definition of anti-Semitism is. If I don't support...
Let's look at this governor, how he jumps in to save this effing clown. Watch this.
The political state of Israel, am I an anti-Semite? Yes or no?
Somebody says they're an anti-Zionist. They are saying about themselves that they have a double standard and hypocrisy, and they're taking anti-Semitic positions.
Okay. Carrie, you feel like you have your questions in?
I don't agree with that, because as a Catholic, I don't agree that the new modern state of Israel has any biblical prophecy meaning at all. So that's my stance, and I'm Catholic. I'm a Catholic.
The Christian-Judeo relationship is a total lie, and you should never step foot ever again in a Christian church because they're all bought and paid for, taking checks checks from Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what's going on. All the Mark Driscolls of the world, that's what they're doing. They're preaching. Why do you think Charlie Kirk was murdered? Charlie Kirk was assassinated because they need that lie to be told, the Christian-Judeo relationship. So in the future, they always get American the youth. They want the youth to support the Christian Zionist relationship, which is a total lie. Charlie Kirk was going to go back to being a Roman Catholic. He saw the truth, and they couldn't have that because those young people at those colleges are the future of this country and the politicians. And without their support, Israel doesn't get their support financially or with the military. And this is what you have here. This is what's going on. This is exactly what's going on here. But hey, let me bring up Epstein. She also she also brings up, is saying that Jesus is king, is that anti-Semitic? And of course he says yes. Hold on. Bring it up. Well, anyway, it's not coming up, but she asked, and in the same hearing, is saying Jesus is king anti-Semitic? And he's like, well, it depends on how you say it. Well, it sounds pretty self-explanatory to me. If you want to say Jesus is king, you have the right to say that to whoever you want. If you believe that Jesus is king, all these Zionists, they hate Jesus. When you mention the word Jesus, you could see it in their face and their eyes. They hate the measly carpenter. Who is he to question us, the measly carpenter? All right. So now, being a Catholic that doesn't accept Zionism, excuse me, that says Jesus is king, means that you're an anti-Semite and you hate Jewish people. This is what Trump supports. This is what Trump makes excuses for. This is who Trump is pretty much pissing away his whole presidency for. Do you see how ridiculous this sounds? Who do these people think they are that they're in this position to preach to us about morality? You are all supporting a genocide. And you'll be like, oh, you're a hypocrite. You said you don't care about the... Listen, I don't care about the entire Middle East. It's been 300. These people have been fighting for hundreds of years. They just can't live normally. Get your shit together. Live like normal human beings. Worship whatever God you want. Live peacefully. Be thankful. And stop involving everybody else in your bullshit. And at a certain point, America needs to just wash our hands to both sides and say, hey, look, do whatever you want. We're done. We've given you billions of dollars for the last, 100 years. We've given you our military. We've cleaned out the Middle East. We've killed millions of people for you. And it's just never good enough. It's just not good enough. And quite frankly, I'm over the entire Middle East, especially when we have the problems that we do in this country. People can barely survive, pay their bills. It's about time that we have leadership in America that says enough is enough, America first. We're washing our hands of this. Good luck. And that's exactly what I would do. So, Epstein, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. You're going to think I'm making this up. Epstein, it's not allegedly, okay? Right before Jeffrey Epstein went to jail in Florida for sex trafficking minors, his light sentence, 11 months. The jail door was open so he could come and go. He used to walk out of the precinct, go shopping, come back when he felt like it, go watch a movie, have a steak. As long as he came back, sooner than later, it was all good. Right before he started his sentence in Florida, he won the Powerball for $85 million. He won the Powerball for $85 million. And you know what I believe? This is what I believe. He agreed to do the time, meaning Jeffrey Epstein. He agreed to do the time. He wouldn't name names. He wouldn't, put anybody on the spot, as long as he got something in return. And what did our government and what did our CIA do? They rigged the Powerball for him to win $85 million. That's my theory. He got in trouble. You know, Jewish people are very powerful in Florida, super powerful in South Florida. I was surprised that he was even arrested in the first place. He must have really pissed the wrong person off. He gets a slap on the wrist, basically 11 months. But I believe the arrogance of Jeffrey Epstein, he felt he shouldn't have gotten any time at all. How dare you arrest me? Do you know who I am? I'm Jeffrey Epstein. I work for the Israeli government. So I believe 1,000% in my heart and my soul that our CIA and our government, I'm not saying they rig all the lotto every time, but they were able to rig this Powerball in his favor because they probably had somebody on the take or however they did it. There's no doubt in my mind that this is that happened. That's the reason why it happened. He played ball. He shut his mouth. He did his 11 months. And right before he went to jail in Florida in 2008, he won $85 million. Go figure. Had enough yet? Have you had enough yet? I've had enough. Let's jump into this video.
Did this piece of shit win the Powerball back in 2008? Because the news media is saying he did. But then Google said it was a grocery store clerk who just happened to use the name Zorro Trust. So is Google still running cover for these people? Because Grok said he did win. And when you Google Zorro Trust Oklahoma, you just keep running.
All right, this is a bad video. I had another one.
So all those people that have said that the lottery's a scam all these years ended up being right. We just found out that Jeffrey Epstein rigged the Powerball back in 2008. And he did not just win a minor prize like $1 million. He won the entire thing. He won the jackpot, $85 million. And this win was not a coincidence because he won the jackpot shortly after he was jailed in Florida. And you'll see here he has a trust called the Zorro Trust, and that is the trust that he used to claim the jackpot. And this way he was able to stay anonymous because you're able to claim the prize without your first or last name. However, lottery officials know the person that claimed the prize. So this means that there are lottery officials out there that are in on this Epstein scandal. So they obviously rigged the drawing or the numbers or somehow printed him a ticket after the numbers were drawn. It makes me question the lottery today because if they were able to do this before, they're obviously able to do it again. So who's to say that there's jackpot winners out there the past few years that aren't legit winners? There are cases like this.
Well, there you have it. I definitely believe 1,000% it was rigged for Jeffrey Epstein to win because he agreed to do his time. Our government can do it. Our CIA can do anything. So let's be serious. Do I think they rig it all the time? I always hear people say, oh, I don't know anybody that's ever won. I knew an old lady in my town. She was about 90 years old. And her eyes were so bad that her granddaughter had to fill out the ticket for her, actually. And she just won like the $1 billion one around here. And everybody knows who she is. And she took off. So I do know a person that won it when people say those types of things. But no doubt in my mind, Jeffrey Epstein, they went to him. He did it. He kept his mouth shut. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. He did his time. And you know, Epstein, again, his arrogance. Oh, you owe me something. How dare you? And they let him win the lottery. They rigged the Powerball for Jeffrey Epstein. It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? Make sure to work hard tomorrow. You know, work hard, play fair, play by the rules, say your prayers, say your ABCs, drink a glass of milk, read your Bible once a day, because if you do everything right, you'll succeed, right? Anyway, it's getting really, you know, just when you think you've heard it all, you're really starting to hear it all. Then a prison guard comes out. Let me try to bring up the video. A prison guard comes out from Jeffrey Epstein's, where he was housed in Manhattan. And he says the day before Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself, that a van came the night before. They put Jeffrey Epstein in this van. They put a dummy in his bed. And you know the rest from there. And lately, the last 2 or 3 days, there's been all these pictures circulating on TikTok of Jeffrey Epstein in Tel Aviv. And it's clear as day it's him. It's clear as day it's him. And you know why I think Jeffrey Epstein is showing his face everywhere? You know what I believe why? Because Benjamin Netanyahu is mad that Trump is not doing exactly what he wants every second of the day when he says. So to create more chaos and more controversy, you're seeing Jeffrey Epstein show his face everywhere. Let's bring up the pictures. Jeffrey Epstein in Tel Aviv. Here
And
we
so
go.
they even found these other photos that people think is Epstein as well. So take a look at this. Now,
Oh no, that's not Epstein, right? Right, Bongino? Aren't you the head of the FBI, Bongino? Don't worry, put Bongino on it. He can handle it. Bongino will figure it out. He wants to keep Israel safe.
what are these photos? There's like no way though, right? Like there's no way that he's still there. And so they even found
This is what I believe. I believe that he's moving out and about in the public the last couple of days because Trump is probably not bombing Iran fast enough for Benjamin Netanyahu. And, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu and, you know, the Zionists know that people will take pictures of this. It'll cause more chaos in America. Benjamin Netanyahu will probably tell Trump, well, if you want it to stop, just do what I say. You're not doing it fast enough, Trump. You're not moving fast enough for me.
And so they even found these other photos.
This is not a real picture of Jeffrey Epstein. It's just AI. Conspiracy
It's not AI. So please. Let's show one more.
A single image from Tel Aviv has reignited one of the internet's darkest debates. Who is this guy spotted in? The image shows a white-haired, white-bearded man wearing sunglasses,
Oh, no, that's not Epstein, right? That's not him.
walking with two men who appear to be bodyguards. The photo was taken in Tel Aviv. The man's face looks familiar, but no name is confirmed. Online speculation quickly followed as renewed attention is placed on the Epstein files. Some users claim the man resembles Jeffrey Epstein and argue he may still be alive. Screenshots are zoomed in, facial features compared, and timelines re-examined. Others push back, saying the image proves nothing and warning against turning resemblance into accusation. The debate goes beyond the photo itself. Some commenters argue that for someone with Epstein's wealth and connections, taking a death would be easier than facing accountability. Others point out that there has been no verified evidence placing him alive after his death in custody, and that speculation risks distracting from documented crimes and victims. What remains undeniable is the imbalance the discussion exposes. If Epstein is truly dead, many believe justice was never fully served. A single image from Tel
I believe Trump is throwing it all away for this piece of garbage. That this, I mean, is it really shocking to you? Like, would anybody be surprised if he's alive? Do you really think that he's not alive? It's just like Ghislaine Maxwell. Her father was a spy for Israel. He stole the nuclear codes. He sold them to Russia. And people are like, oh, just turn the page. There's nothing to see there either. Oh, what a coincidence that Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's madam, it's just a coincidence. They don't have anything to do with the Israeli government. It's all in your imagination. How could you think such a thing? Oh, I'll tell you. You know, it's just Trump. I can't even put it in words how disappointed I am in Trump. He just absolutely make me sick. This is the type of trash that Trump is covering for. Trump keeps saying, I'm not in the Epstein files. I have nothing to do with it. Well, what, you should have released it on day one then. The minute this started to become a big snowball, The Epstein files should have been released. If you have nothing to worry about, why didn't you release it from day one? This is the type of trash that you're covering for. This is the type of degeneracy that you're covering for. Let's go to Tucker Carlson. He asked the pastor about how Christians get treated in Israel.
So Christian churches in the United States send more money to, say, Jewish settlements in the West Bank than they do to Christians in Jesus' hometown of Nazareth?
That's not a secret.
Always getting ripped off, huh? These Calvary places, these fellowship places, all these Christian churches, all it is a scam. If you want to go to church, go back to the Catholic Church where you belong. Do not go to... you should be running as far away from the Joel Osteens of the world and these Christian churches you should be running from them as fast as possible.
That's not a secret. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
When people in the American media say Palestinian, it means someone who's an Islamist, basically. But you're saying that a lot of those Palestinians, refugees, were Christians, Anglicans even.
No, absolutely. I think there are many places in the world where people can use words that mean something really horrific.
Yes.
But I think that's demonizing. For me, that's demonizing.
Well, it sounds also untrue.
Absolutely. Because, I think when you speak about Palestinians, I'm Palestinian.
Yeah.
And I'm an archbishop. You can think about, the Christian population, it dwindled to half in 48 because many people had to leave what is my homeland, where I grew in Nazareth,
yes,
in Galilee. Half of the Palestinian population had to be expelled to other places, and who became refugees. So when we speak about Palestinian refugees today, they are all coming or came from what is proper Israel today.
Do you face vandalism from Islamic groups in Jerusalem?
No, not to my knowledge, no. We don't have in Jerusalem?
Yes.
No. Now, I think, imagine 100,000 Christians in Bethlehem, let's say 50 years ago or so. Today, we have less than 30,000.
Really?
Yeah, a huge drop.
Do they receive aid from American Christian churches?
No, not to my knowledge. I'm trying to kind of get to my hospital in Gaza, for example.
Yes.
And I'm trying to kind of get permission to go there, but I'm not allowed.
To go to your hospital in Gaza?
Yes. Again, it's about my safety, I guess.
Your safety. Would you feel unsafe going to Gaza?
Absolutely not. I've been to Gaza many, many times. And actually, 2 days before the war, I was there.
Hold on. Wrong one.
How are you treated in Israel?
This is the one that I wanted to bring up, but that was good information to know.
How are you treated in Israel?
It just shows what a scam the Christian church has become.
How are you treated in Israel?
Depending where you live, where you are, where you're walking. So I think, in many places in Israel, you are respected. There's freedom of movement. I can go in most places. There are places that are restricted to any civilian, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But, in general, I can go in many places. If I'm walking in the old city, for example, if I'm in my suit, all good and well, of course, the mosaic is so beautiful there. People living together, walking together. You would enjoy the souk. But sometimes if I'm wearing my cross and my cassock, I could be treated differently by some groups.
How are you treated?
I could maybe spat at, for example.
Has someone ever spit at you?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
More than once?
More than once. Yeah.
Why?
I think, I asked this question why. And in many cases, I have seen that, in many schools in the Jewish sector who have, this is the answer that I receive, who have bad flashes of memories of persecution. The cross reminds them of persecution and expulsion what have you.
So they're teaching their children that the cross is a sign of persecution and to spit on Christians?
Yeah. And, we know that, there are so many.
America's greatest ally. I mean, isn't that what we're told? Christian-Judeo relationship. But you go over there, you go to Israel as a Christian, and if you have your cross on, they'll spit on you. Interesting.
Not many, but there are some. And these are fringe groups that we have, as heads of churches, spoke about. When there is vandalism of churches, when there is spitting at clergy, when there is doing nasty things to clergy.
What kind of nasty things?
And I've kind of saying that on the air. I don't know.
I mean, what could be worse than spitting? What could possibly be worse than spitting? Like, if you want to really get a bad reaction out of me, spit on me and see what would happen.
Doing like really shameful things, in front of church doors.
Really?
Yeah. I'm being caught on camera many times.
Oh, you act like this.
It's probably some perverted act because, people like Adam Sosnick that go out to the club in Miami on Friday and Saturday trying to pick up 16-year-old girls, they can't help themselves. They're all about the perversion. You know what they were doing in front of those doors of the church? So nice, huh? What a way to greet Jesus. The measly carpenter that they hate so much. The Zionists hate Jesus. That measly carpenter, how dare he question us? How dare he call us out on our lies?
Everyone knows this. I don't think many people in America know this, to Christian churches and Christian clergy.
Yeah, and again, these are like fringe group of people who are radicals, who live in Jerusalem.
All right, you get the point. Yeah, the Christian-Judeo relationship that you preach, that you get preached to every day, that's the most important thing. But yet you go to Israel as a Christian, you wear your cross, you get spit on, and if you're sitting in church and you turn around, somebody might be masturbating in the window. Sounds like a great relationship. Interesting, huh? Oh, I wanted to.
So Christian churches
this will be the
in
last
the United
thing.
States
Hold on.
send more.
I wanted to show you. I was messing around on a computer, and I wanted to pull up. I just Googled Christian. I just Googled conservative podcasters, and I want you to see what came up. So this is what they push when if you were new to this and you wanted to listen to a conservative podcast. I want you to take one guess who they put at the top of the list. Ben Shapiro. The ultimate Zionist, Ben Shapiro. But he's actually a conservative podcaster. 100 best conservative podcasts to listen to in 2025. This is so fun. This is hysterical. The number one conservative podcast in America, according to FeedSpot Podcast and a couple of these other places, is the Ben Shapiro Show. The Zionist that pretends to be, a conservative, the Zionist, because he's Israel first. He's not America first. He's Israel first. We all know that. And that's the greatest thing about this, right? The Matt Walsh Show is number 2. Look at that. Number 2, there's the Matt Walsh Show. Guess who Matt Walsh works for? Oh, that's right, Ben Shapiro. Nah, nothing to see. I don't know anything about Relatable with Ali Beth. I have no clue who this person is, so I can't lie. Never watched the Steve Ducey Show. Conservative Review with Daniel Horowitz. If I had to bet, he's probably a Zionist. The Vic Persicelli Show. Never watched it. The Josh Hammer Show, number 7. I know who he is. And I know one thing he's not. He's definitely not America first. He's definitely a Zionist and Israel first. Oh, look at that. The Charlie Kirk Show, Turning Point USA. The entire organization that is now run by Zionists. But hey, the Charlie Kirk Show is number 8. The Cooner Report, I don't know who that is, so I can't lie. I can only tell the truth about who I know and who I don't know. Look at that. Mark Levin is number 10. Wow, look at all these conservative podcasters. What do they all have in common? They're all Zionists. Talk about being brainwashed, huh? Talk about mind control. Talk about MK Ultra. Look who's next. Number 11, Verdict with Ted Cruz. Another Zionist. Wow. The government is working hard to control your mind. Look at who's number 12. The Michael Knowles Show. Who does he work for? Ben Shapiro. Go figure. Go figure. It just isn't it something else? You're just seeing how the whole game is rigged. Even Epstein, look at that. Epstein even won the Powerball. One of the most evil human beings on planet Earth. He just managed to win the Powerball, 85 million, right before he started his sentence in Florida. This is who Donald Trump, this is who all the American politicians who are bought and paid for by AIPAC, this is who they all are succumbing to. This is who's controlling them. And then you look at all of these, even the media is putting all Zionists in the top spots. So you get brainwashed, you get MK Ultra'd by Zionists. Ben Shapiro has no talent. See, there are no fair markets at this point. They're buying up all the markets. They are, what is that? They're monopolizing the markets. They're putting their people in the top positions. And then they're brainwashing you that the Zionists are the best at what they do. They're brainwashing you that Zionists like Ben Shapiro are going to give you truthful, accurate information. And then they put all their Zionist buddies like, number 2, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. So if you wanted to listen to a conservative podcast, they'll serve you up a Zionist real fast. Michael Knowles, let me tell you, Michael Knowles, this is what I can't stand about Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, especially Michael Knowles. He tries to pass himself off as such a decent guy, right? That he's very, that he's kind of in the middle. He's not extreme left. He's not extreme right. That he's very centered. He's very based, as all the young people say. And he's anything. You can't be based. You can't be centered and work for Ben Shapiro. The same thing with Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is just a total joke. Matt Walsh is a Zionist also. And he'll throw you out the tidbits once in a while. Oh, we need to get rid of illegal immigrants. Oh, really? No shit. But Matt, who's your boss? Who's your boss? Oh, that's right, Ben Shapiro. And is Ben Shapiro going to... See, I'm about the policy. I'm not about stupid insults and acting like a child in the schoolyard and tossing, saying bad words to try to get a rise out of... I'm about the policy. And this is the problem I have with the policy. $45 million a day to Israel every day for the last 60 years. Now they want another 20-year deal. For a country the size of New Jersey. For a country the size of New Jersey. They use the United States military. There's not an IDF soldier anywhere in sight when they conquer the Middle East. American lives are lost. They're dragging us into endless wars. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think Iran wants to have beef with America? Nobody really wants to have beef with us. Nobody. They know what the outcome is going to be. They know we're the most lethal fighting force in the world. But could you blame a country like Iran for telling America, we're not getting rid of our missiles. We're not getting rid of our bombs. You have a bunch of psychopaths named Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel controlling your government. Why would I get rid of the bombs that I have so then they can come and they can have you come and conquer me? So why would you get rid of your missiles, your bombs, your nuclear weapons? Why would you, if you're Iran, why would you do that? They know that Benjamin Netanyahu is a total monster. They know that he wants Middle East domination. Can you blame them? Can you blame them for telling America, get lost? I'm not getting rid of that. I know if I'm the leader of Iran, I'm not doing that. They know that Benjamin Netanyahu will never stop, ever. And his words mean nothing. And you know what this will turn into? You know what this is going to turn into after that statement? Because I'm putting myself in the shoes of Iranian leaders. I wouldn't get rid of any bombs. Nothing. I would tell America, get lost. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel control you. We don't trust you. Get lost. I guess we're going to have to do what we got to do. I don't want to take it that far. But President Trump is not in control of the United States of America. Benjamin Netanyahu is, so I'm not getting rid of anything. And you know what this statement's going to turn into? You know what this is going to turn into? That I'm getting money from Iran. Well, you know what? Tell them, yeah, sure I am. Okay, sure I am. That's what it's going to turn into. Oh, you're taking money from Iran. You're bought and paid for it. Yeah, okay, sure. Give me a break. You know, I should put my bank account up on right, and you would just be laughing. But whatever. We all got issues at a certain time in life, and I'm not here to talk about mine. So I'm going to end the show with that. I mean, are you fed up? Are you tired yet? Have you had enough? Have you had enough of all these politicians putting America last? Have you had enough of people like CARRIE BOLLER? Excuse me. Have you had enough of people like CARRIE, BOLLER, PREJEAN? I'm getting flashbacks to Karine Jean-Pierre. I'm going to jump out the window. Have you had enough people like this who they're standing up for themselves and they're saying, well, I'm a Catholic. I don't believe in Zionism. I believe Christ is king. And then they lose their job the next effing day. They get removed from their position. And she got removed from her position because of President Trump. President Trump, this is the type of garbage and human beings that President Trump is defending and putting first over America and our citizens. He put Jeffrey Epstein and Miriam Adelson and all these big Jewish donors and all the Zionists. President Trump has put them before the American people. And I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.